Beloveds, welcome to our new year of the Ox class. I am so happy to be here. Happy New Year. Oh, so beautiful to all be here and sharing sacred space together. So I would love to start our class off with our meditation. But first of all, I just want to check that either you've maybe had a chance to log into your online account and perhaps you've printed out the questions. And if you haven't, that's fine because I'm going to read them aloud. And you can just, as long as you have pen and paper, that's all that's needed. And Nikki's there. She says, Happy New Year to everybody. So if you do have any questions as you go, feel free to type into the chat box and Nikki can help you out. But hopefully everybody can hear me and see me okay. So again, oh, so lovely. So beautiful. Oh, Happy New Year to everybody. And at the end, I'd love to give everyone a chance to share intentions and everything. But we have a lot of amazing information that I would love to get through. And first of all, our meditation, our grounding, and then I'd like to go into our questions, and then we'll really get into the Feng Shui for the new year, and then the astrology, and then we'll get more into the intentional side of things as well. So again, I hope everybody's had a chance, if not now or sometime after, to log into your online platform. And there you'll see all the materials. So all the PowerPoints that I'm going over today will be shared in there. You can download. The class will be available to rewatch, or if you're only able to watch part of it, because we're probably going to go for about 3 to 4 hours. We'll just see how things flow, but at least we're going to be 3 hours together. And at any time, feel free to go grab a cup of tea. But as I was saying, make sure you're nice and comfy, slippers, blanket, cushions, snacks, some warm tea, some water, because we're going to go through a whole journey together. So definitely pen and paper. And so then afterwards, this class will be available from tomorrow onwards. And you'll also see in the download section an entire calendar for the year that's going to list all the sacred dates, the Mercury retrogrades, the Celtic wheel points, the monthly flying stars and where they're located. And so there's lots of great materials. So make sure you go in there and get all the resources that are provided for you. Okay, beloved. So with that, we're going to get started our meditation. So I'm just going to invite everyone to get really comfortable. So that means, laying out on the sofa, laying down on the bed, putting a blanket over your knee as you sit in the chair or around your shoulders. And this is a beautiful opportunity now as we open sacred space together to light a candle. I've got mine lit here. And as soon as you light the candle, we have open sacred space together. And as we know, the fire element has this amazing ability to transmute any energy. So today I'm really hoping for this new year that we're stepping into. And it's just this beautiful opportunity to reset and to be really clear on how you want to feel in this upcoming year. So grab whatever you need to feel comfortable and be comfortable and warm and cozy, depending where in the world you are. We've got snow here in Ireland this week. So hence the warm tea and the blankets. So with that, beloveds, I'm going to invite you to just gently close your eyes and just bring that magnificent, beautiful awareness of yours to your heart center. That Om Mani Padme Hum, that place of love, of gra, of love. Gra is the word for Gaelic word for love. So just bring your awareness to your heart. And as you've gently closed your eyes, just taking a moment to welcome yourself. You are amazing. And what a gift of self-care for you and your family and your friends, to always wanting to receive wisdom and practices and tools to heal, to grow, to evolve, to support. And you're just all so amazing, such incredible light workers. So now it's your time. It's your time to receive and to be. And with that, I'm going to invite you to take a big, deep inhale. And as you inhale, just draw the energy up from the earth. And draw the energy all the way up through the soles of your feet, up through your legs, up through your spine, all the way up through your body, all the way to the crown of your head. And then I'm going to invite you to just hold your breath for as long as you can, and then open your mouth and exhale out your mouth, exhaling your breath all the way out. And as we do this, we're just letting our nervous system, our body, our emotional, our mental body, everything to just let go. And as we let go, it allows us to become deeper into the present moment. And when we live in the present moment, all is well. It's when we start thinking about the past and dwelling in the past, right? That, we start reliving things that are done and complete, or we step into the future and we go out of the present moment. It brings anxiety for things that might never happen, that aren't happening. So when we just drop into this present moment right now, all is well in this moment. And I just want to acknowledge that for many of us, perhaps all, that it has been a challenging past year. And I just really want to acknowledge you for all of your grace and all that you've moved through in this past year. While there is this global awakening happening right now. And so the more that we can allow ourselves to be in grace and ease and flow, the more grace and ease and flow we will experience. Because as we know, energy is going to flow. So we can either block it or we can move with it. And the other thing I think that we're really being called to do is to rise up and to be holders of the light even more. And even on the days that it feels harder, as important as it is, vitally important as it is for us to feel and to process, but to also move through. So I'm going to invite you just to feel what it feels like to have the soles of your feet touching the floor. And then together we're going to take another big deep inhale, drawing that beautiful earth energy up through the soles of your feet, up through your legs, up through your spine. Feel it traveling up like this golden light up through your body, all the way up to the crown of your head. And just holding your breath. And then whenever you're ready with a big exhale, just letting go. And when you think you've let go some more. And just surrender into this moment. And just allow yourselves to be, your beautiful selves to be. So I just like to take a gentle inhale and just roll our shoulders forward and up, and exhale back and down, right? Even look at me, look at the difference. Your eyes are closed, so keep them closed. But when your shoulders are lifted up and back, it's like, oh my gosh, your spine is straight. The energy can flow, your heart is open, and just allow your spine to be straight. And imagine this beautiful golden cord at the crown of your head. Your chin is gently tucked and you're elongated through your neck and your spine, while still having your shoulders relaxed. So let's take another deep inhale together, inhaling from the earth. Inhaling that breath, feel it rising up again like that golden light up through your legs, up through your spine. Feel it moving up through your torso, moving up past all your chakras, your heart, your throat, your third eye, your crown. And then just hold your breath. Hold it. And whenever you're ready, just letting go. Beautiful. So as we now have moved into this new age of Aquarius, that only happens every 2,500 years. There's so much energy right now, so much going on in the world, crumbling of old patriarchic ways of being, old systems that no longer will cease to exist, that we can stand and rise up in our truths and authenticity and light and love. So taking another deep inhale and exhale, So I'm going to invite you to bring the backs of your hands to your knees and join your index finger and thumb together in both hands. And I would like to do another breath, a pranayama. And this is the 4-part yogic breath I'd like to do. Many of you know it. And if you do, I invite you to go ahead and start. So for this breath technique, I'm going to invite you to inhale for the count of 4 or even 5 if that works better for your breath. So you inhale, and then at the very top, you're going to hold your breath in for the count of 4 or 5. And I'm going to speak you through it. I'm just explaining the process. And then you're going to exhale your breath out, and then holding your breath out at the bottom again for 4 to 5 seconds. Ideally, we want the same even amount of time on the inhale, the hold, the exhale, and the hold. And I invite you to really, as you inhale, just fill up your entire body. And as you hold at the top, feel that pressure. Even as you hold at the breath, you can kind of hold all the way up from your root chakra, as if you're holding all the chakras, bringing that energy all the way up to the crown of your head, allowing that energy to build almost so where consciousness just wants to open and connect straight with source. And then as you exhale your breath out, exhale it all out. And then as you hold the breath out in the bottom, hold it out. Allow it to be out. Allow yourself to be in that void, which is very much so a theme of right now, depending where you are in the hemisphere, but that the winter solstice invites us to be in this time of year, to be in a void, to be in reflection, to be in that internal space, that pause, hibernation. Mother Earth invites us for that, but not only just Mother Earth, so much that is going on in the globe, all around the world right now, is inviting us to go inwards, to heal, to reflect, to be willing to look and examine and shift and change and transmute and ultimately transform. So let's start with our breath now. So I invite you to inhale for the count of 4, 3, 4. Holding your breath at the top for the count of 4, 3, 4. And then exhaling your breath all the way out for the count of 4, 3, 4. And holding your breath out at the very bottom. This is the surrender part. 3, 4. So coming back around, and imagine this beautiful circle as you inhale up for the count of 4. It's so you're filling up. Imagine as you're filling up your well, you're filling up your beautiful selves. And then when you're at the very top, feel that fullness of self. Feel that bounty and that abundance and that light within you. And then as you start to exhale, it's the releasing, the surrendering, the letting go. And then as you allow the breath to be empty at the bottom, allowing yourself to embrace even the emptiness state, the reflective state, the melancholy state, whatever that state, whatever the voice is, allowing to have a voice. So now as we go back into the circle of the inhale, what we're doing is we're inhaling, we're inviting in all of ourselves right now, the full acceptance. And then as we have that fullness of our breath at the top, that is the honoring of all parts of ourselves coming together, fully integrated, our light and our dark, our masculine and our feminine, even our things with our yeses and our nos. And then as we exhale our breath out, that really is allowing that deep sense of union to perhaps some of those polarities that show of themselves. I want that, but do I? I love the noise, but I need the quiet. Am I extrovert or am I introvert? And then, as the breath is out at the bottom, again, fully seeing, fully allowing, fully accepting. So inhaling again, And this will be our last round. Inhaling as we would be in the spring, as everything starts to blossom. And then as we reach that top point of the breath, that is the fullness, the yang, the summer, the light, the action. And then as we exhale back out again, the letting go, the autumn, the surrendering, letting things die that no longer serve. And then we have the winter at the very bottom, where we have let go and we give space for things to realign after the letting go. What are the pieces that we keep? What do they look like? What does everything look like now that we have allowed ourselves to release? Who are we now? And that's a lot of what's happening in the world right now. So just allowing yourself to sit with that. And then allowing your breath to come back to its normal rhythm, but inviting it still to be deep and full. Allowing your belly, the expansiveness, the inward and the outward. And just this is a time to just allow whatever wants to come up, whatever thoughts, whatever feelings, observing, not judging. So I invite you now to send your grounding cord at the base of your spine and the soles of your feet, and send that grounding cord deep down into the very heart of Sophia, of the earth, of Gaia, Mother Earth. Send that cord deep down and connect with her as you always are, but just consciously choosing to have that deep connection with her, that deep reverence. And once you've made that connection, we're going to invite that rooted and grounded and centered and that deep sense of belonging energy up from the earth, and feel it rising up through the soles of your feet, through the base of your spine, moving through every single cell of your body, and feeling that deep sense of belonging, knowing where you came from, knowing where you come from, and allowing that energy to travel all the way to the crown of your head, and then allowing it to rest at your heart center. Taking a deep inhale into your heart and exhale. And as that grounded, earthy energy is at your heart, feel this rose opening there. This beautiful rose. See whatever color is for you, your gift. Then I invite you to feel this energy at the crown of your head. And allow that energy to soar up to the stars, the Astarte, goddess Astarte, the cosmos, straight up to source energy. Connect with your highest self. And then invite that energy down, that energy of the stars. The more you familiarize yourself, the more connection, alignment. And then allow that energy to come in through the crown of your head, and this white light energy of pure source, the universal energy, to flow in through the crown of your head and down through your body, filling up every single cell, clearing and cleansing your energy body, emotional and mental body, your physical body. Flows up and down through your body. And then this universal energy meeting at your heart, and the earth energy and that of pure source merging at your heart. And then that rose expands with the merging of these energies at your heart. Taking a deep inhale and exhale. As we've opened sacred space together, I call upon our ancestors. As we talk about healing things from our past, doing our ancestral work is so profoundly powerful. So we call upon our ancestors now, those that are here for the highest good from a heavenly realm, that choose to be with us here today. Call upon the directions. So bringing your awareness to the space in front. Feel that energy of the space in front. Behind you, feeling that space behind you. To your left and to your right. Below you and above you. Calling upon your guides. Feel free to call upon whoever it is that you would like here with you now. I call upon always Kuan Yin for her unconditional love and compassion. I call upon Morrigan, the goddess of integrity and sovereignty and truth. And I call upon Bridget, the goddess of the fire goddess of light. So even in these times of darkness, there is always hope and the promise of the return of the light. That's even what the winter solstice represents. I call upon Lu, the sun god, and Angus, the god of love. And I call upon all of our angels, our beautiful guardian angels that are always, always there for us. And remember, with your guides, it's always important to call them in. Ask for the help that is needed. So, with your mind's eye, I invite you to bring your awareness to your third eye, your spiritual eye. And as you've called in your ancestors to call and support at this time, I invite you, with the space that we open behind, for you to consciously choose in this moment anything that you are leaving behind, anything that you are done with that has happened in this past year or in your lifetime, or perhaps ancestrally or even in your past lives. See it all behind you now. Feel free to visualize whatever that is, thoughts that are unkind, patterns, things that repeat themselves over and over again in your life, or that have come down through your family line that repeats itself. Numbing mechanisms, alcohol, too much food, numbing out, whatever that form is. See it all behind you. Consciously choose to see it all behind. And all that comes forward with you now is the wisdom from these experiences that you are choosing consciously to release now. Traumatic experiences, relationships, jobs, places you've lived that you're just complete with and ready to really put behind you. And know now that they are in your past. And I invite you to look out in front with your mind's eye. And I invite you in this moment now to say, what are the feelings that you would like to feel from here on out? Really feel into what they are. Is it love, joy, acceptance, prosperity, union, surrendering, sovereignty, integration? How would you like to feel? And yes, there could be clear things that you're ready to step into. And I invite you, as you look out right now, out in front, the direction of in front, the direction of moving forward, what is it that you see for yourself? I invite you to wildly dream and to vision. It all starts with a vision. And if you're willing to vision it and dream it and think it and repeat it and see it and feel it, then you're as good as there. And when it comes to truly aligning with our heart's desires, it's vital that we allow ourselves to dream it and to feel it. Because that way, everything in the world is vibration, it's energy. And when we allow ourselves to vibrate at these higher vibrations, we align with that, what it is. So I'm going to invite you just to float your hands up to your heart center and feel the warmth and the light of your own heart. Take a deep inhale and exhale. And know now that which you have put behind you and released is behind you. You get to move forward now free. And if you feel called, I invite you to see Archangel Michael to the right of you, above you, and the goddess Morrigan, to the left. And both of them have swords, always have swords. And I invite you, with your mind's eye, for everything that's behind, just allow the swords to slice down, to complete and cut all ties from any of these past experiences, feelings, thoughts, whatever it is. And then just see yourself moving forward and moving and stepping into all of those feelings, all of those energies that we've discussed. So taking a deep inhale and exhale. And I invite you now, with your hands at your heart center, but what beautiful thing could you say to yourself now? Like, I love you. And if it's hard or challenging to say something really amazing, you can even just say, wow, you're doing really well. You could tell yourself that you're magnificent, beautiful, brave, courageous, strong. We have over 90,000 thoughts a day. And the more that we can make these thoughts kind and loving and thoughts that raise our vibration versus the opposite, this is so, so vitally important. So, beloveds, from this beautiful meditative space, we're going to go into the next part of our time together, which are the questions and answers. So I'm going to share on the screen here the questions. And if you don't have them printed out, that's no problem at all. You will have the PDF to all of them. But as long as you have pen and paper, I'd really love for you to take the time now to write. There's something really powerful. We've got sacred space opened up. We're here with all of our sisters and brothers with the intention of light and love and support and truth. So together, let's answer these questions. Okay, lovies. So I always love this Chinese proverb. When there's light in the soul, there is beauty in the person. When there is beauty in the person, there is harmony in the home. When there is harmony in the home, there is honor in the nation. Okay, love. So the first selection of questions that I have here are to kind of close off the year. And of course, you know, it really depends. We just had the Gregorian New Year just over a week ago. And then we're stepping towards the Chinese New Year here, right? And then, of course, you know, it depends where in the world that you live. The Celtic New Year tends to start in Samhain on Halloween, you know, at the end of October. But I think this is a beautiful, beautiful time, because what do our clocks tell us right now? And our calendars, they tell us, you know, we've just stepped into New Year. So right before we go into the Chinese New Year, this is a beautiful opportunity to answer these questions. Now, you may rather have more time for the questions, and that's why you'll have this whole PDF of all the questions that if you want to go back and spend way more time with them, you take all the time that you need. I think it's such a powerful practice, first of all, to clear out. We know that, right? When it comes to clearing clutter, clear out and reflect and take that time before we step into that new space. So this first question is, where could I have allowed extra grace and permission for kindness to myself? So this could be in a way that maybe you find that you work too much, or you might feel like napping and you don't allow that. Or it could come into the form of thoughts. I'm not good enough, I don't deserve, cancel, clear. And those thoughts come up for all of us. So this is just you, when we're willing to shine a light on something, that's when, even first of all, when we come to that realization of, wow, I'm not that kind to myself in my thoughts, 50% of it is pretty much healed, because you've brought that awareness and you've taken the power away from those thoughts. And when those thoughts come up again, you can be like, oh, there's that thought again. There's that thought that I can't do this, or I'm not good enough, or I'm not pretty enough, or I'm not this enough, fill in the blanks, whatever it is. So where could you have allowed more grace and kindness for yourself? And then this is definitely something, and some of these things that come out of this question is like, well, from here onwards, I'm going to be more mindful of my thoughts. And when those ones come in, I'm going to be aware of them and then either neutralize that thought, cancel, clear the thought, or just, if you can, in that space, in that moment, come out with a kind thought. Or perhaps it's like, wow, I work way too much. I'm going to bring in more exercise, more time with friends, family. I'm going to eat healthier. Wow, I wasn't that kind to myself with food or with alcohol or whatever it is. Okay, I'm going to keep moving forward here. So pick 3 words to describe this past year. So this has been a really unusual year, of course, for everybody around the world. And just, there's been so much happening. And I just really want to acknowledge you all. You're so amazing, being here and just still like, how can I support myself? And then, it's like anything, what do we do the minute we get on the plane? We're told to, you'd need to put on your own mask, right? Because you have to fill up your own well first. You have to come from this full place, or else we can't support anybody. So what would be 3 words to describe this past year? And I really want for you to be ruthlessly honest. I love being positive. That's really important, and it really serves. But I think honesty about what this past year has been is really important. And it could have been a big year of growth and self-discovery, and a lot of that's gone on and is still going on here in the world, is inviting people to change up that which is not in alignment in their lives anymore, whether it's hours of commuting every day or being disconnected, whatever it is. So what are the 3 words? And I'm going to invite you just to put pen to paper and allow a stream of consciousness just to flow through. So who were the most valuable relationships with? This is really important. Again, this comes back to what we know in Feng Shui, right? So we clear the clutter, things that aren't in alignment, or people that are no longer in alignment. How do you feel when you spend time with people in your life? Do they raise your vibration or lower it? That's something really important to be honest about. And then who were the most valuable relationships this past year? And how can you choose to show them appreciation? How can you choose to consciously have more time with them? Number 4, what was the single most time waster this past year? So perhaps it's scrolling through social media, spending time with people that you don't align with. You fill in the blanks here. What was the single most time waster? And something that didn't fill you up, like going for a nap every afternoon, like they do it in Europe, right? Siesta. There's a reason for, when you start to feel tired at 3 o'clock, like it's about honoring our bodies, honoring our cycles, our moon cycles, the cycles of the moon, the cycles of Mother Nature, We're at this dormant stage right now. We're at this stage of hibernation. So what was the single most time waster? Maybe it was just hours watching TV and TV that did not serve. What was it? Number 5. This is a really important one. Who do I need to forgive from this past year? And I feel like the forgiveness practice can be a daily practice. Who do I need to forgive from this past year? Step into this new year with forgiveness in your heart. Write their names down now. And consciously choose as you write down their names that the forgiveness has just happened. Just as you put pen or pencil to paper, it's happened. And perhaps your own self needs to go. Maybe you need to forgive yourself from this past year, from a lifetime. And forgiving somebody doesn't mean forgetting. You take the wisdom and the lesson and the knowing with you. But not forgiving is just harming yourself. Number 6, what mistakes have I learned from this year gone by, and what are the lessons? So I know we say there aren't really any mistakes because, of course, everything is in divine order and all the choices that we make are divine. However, if there are things that you feel that, I'd like to do them differently, and by doing this was the result. Because choices, making good, sound decisions and choices serve us so deeply. So if something came that you feel like was a good or bad choice, what did you learn from it? And what was it you learned? And what are the lessons? Number 7, what is the best way I used time this past year? What is the best way? What is the best way? So many, many, many beloveds all around the world have been invited to go inwards, to spend so much more time with family and doing things in their own homes, building vegetable gardens, living closer with the earth in harmony, slowing down, giving space to pause. So what is the best way that you use your time this past year? And by looking at this and knowing this, and what was it that brought you joy, that brought happiness, that brought contentment, gratitude, connection, achievement? So what was it? And then ideally, when we write all of this, it's like, wow, well, maybe I could bring more of that in this upcoming year. And the thing that was a time waster, maybe I'm going to consciously choose to stop wasting my time on that. Number 8, what old stories are you ready to let go of? Is the story serving you? Sometimes we get so attached to our stories. What old stories are you willing to let go of? So everything, remember, that is behind us now. You can consciously choose to put those old stories there. And see whatever it is behind just moving further and further and further and further away. Fading and fading, where you receive the lessons and the wisdom and the sovereignty from those stories and experiences. But you are not your story. You are not what has happened to you. You are not what you have. And this is such a powerful, then who am I if I'm not these stories? If I'm not this, if I'm not the mother, if I'm not, who are you? Number 9, what habits do I need to work on? So Habits are such a powerful thing. We can easily start really bad habits, or we can start good, positive habits. So we've kind of talked about it, like too much watching, too much eating, too much spending, um, whatever it is, screen time, whatever it is. What habits could you release? What of those habits perhaps could be minimized? Or what habits, new habits could come in instead? So if it was not eating in a way that you'd wish, perhaps you could consciously choose to juice from here on out, or salads over this, or if you'd rather drink less, more water, more tea, more warm water, lemon, whatever it is, whatever those habits are, everybody has unique habits. Some build you up and raise you up, and some do the opposite. Number 10, what were the things that excited you on a soul level, and how can you make more space for them in the new year? So what were some of the things that excited you on a soul level, that filled you up, that filled up your well? Some surprising things from the new year, some solid things that you do year after year that feed you and lift you up. What excited you? Perhaps it was a new, exciting experience, way of being, seeing life, experiencing life, hearing life, sharing life with somebody, a new practice that you learned, something new that you discovered that filled you up. And how can you bring more of that in? It's like, oh my gosh, that was amazing. And I need to bring more of that in. Number 11. So what made you feel joy and creatively inspired, right? That whole lower chakra, like the base chakra, grounded, abundant, but that second chakra, sensuality and creativity. Up to that third chakra, solar plexus, your light, your confidence, that emotional center. So what brought you more joy and creatively inspired? What was it? What lit you up? Singing, dancing, out in nature, connecting with friends, family. What was it? Bring more of that in. Cultivate that. Consciously choose to bring it in. Schedule it. Sometimes these practices, these habits need to go on a calendar so we can see them and remind ourselves until they're just a part of our lives. We completely embody them. Number 12, what are your accomplishments from this past year? And how can you sit with them and allow yourself to really feel the fulfillment? So think about now a couple of accomplishments from this past year. Like I know for me right away, I got a thriving vegetable garden. Like the kids and I ate peas for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and fresh tomatoes and greens all day, every day, for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Chickens and pony, and, like they feel like huge accomplishments from this past year. And it's like when we really take the time to look at what they are, they can fill us up. It can be small things, big things. You learn to make a couple of new wonderful dishes. You learn to sew, arts, crafts, dancing, whatever that is. What was an accomplishment to you? And feel it. Maybe you learned to play an instrument that you've always wanted. The most important thing is to allow yourself to feel it. So number 13, how have you restricted yourself and perhaps then projected on others? So in what ways did you restrict yourself? Because it is amazing how we can put ourselves in these prisons, right? It's like, well, I'm only allowed, that much that day. Oh, that would be too much. Oh, I can't have a nap every day. It's like, well, if there is time and space, why not? Oh, I couldn't do this. That just brings me way too much joy every day. It's like, why not? The world needs this so badly now, to everyone to heal and to bring more joy and love and connection, not putting themselves in a prison like, no, I can only do that walk for 30 minutes. Well, why not stay on it for 2 hours if it's filling you up and raising your vibration, and then creating this ripple effect where you're glowing and smiling and connecting with every person that passes you. And it's all vibration. Number 14, how can you free yourself from any troublesome situations? So is there anything that is niggling at you that needs to be completed, that action needs to be taken, cutting of a cord needs to happen, letting something go, quitting something, releasing something, telling somebody something, speaking your truth? But how can you free yourself? If something keeps you up at night, creates any kind of anxiety or stress, ignoring it doesn't usually do it. So how can you free yourself from any situations that are not in alignment? And how can you reclaim your peace around them? Okay, so the last, that was the questions for the closing of the year. So now I'd like to step into questions to ask for 2021. So how can I make more space for what I love, right? So maybe there's things that from our questions before, things that you really love from this previous year that you can easily put down here. Or maybe there's things that you have been longing to do, like to sing, to chant, to learn more about a specific topic, to reach out to that beloved that you've been meaning to, somebody that you're missing and you want to reconnect with. Yoga, meditation. What is it that fills you up and lights you up? And how can you choose to put it on your schedule? Like write it in, have it on your wall, have it on, somewhere that you see it every day. And it just becomes part of who you are and part of your daily life. So what do you hope for this coming year that is different than other years? So how do you want it to look different, to feel different, to be different than last year? Remember, we're releasing those old stories and those old beliefs and those old thoughts. So what do I hope for this coming year that's different than others? Have you felt stress and anxiety or depression in previous years and you choose not to feel that anymore? Or you choose differently? Number 3, how can you bring more peace into your life? And that really comes back to that question of anything that's troubling you. How can action or non-action or whatever needs to happen in order to bring more peace? So what would that look like? How could you bring more peace into your life? Perhaps that is, for me, it's definitely yoga practice, meditation, chanting, spending lots of time out in nature, really, really healthy, loving boundaries. So that is a major, huge part of self-love, healthy boundaries. That's probably one of the biggest parts, because if you don't have healthy boundaries, you're usually doing things like people pleasing and doing a whole lot of things that are not in alignment and that don't feel good. So how can you bring more peace into your life? And perhaps it's, getting all your feng shui in place and having your home so you love it. And the important thing to remember is happiness and joy and peace is not something outside of us. So it's not like I'll be happy when I get the car or remodel the living room or whatever it is. It's choosing it in the here and the now. And first of all, I'm just talking about some simple practices that can bring that in. And it's a daily choice to show up again. Like, let's say, choosing to eat healthy. That would be a big one for me. Always choosing to eat healthy, right? So just by me choosing that every day when I get up, that brings more peace, more harmony, more happiness into my life. But it's a conscious choice that I make every single day to wake up and to choose to go straight onto my yoga mat. And then this is a habit, and these are habits that fill us up and set us up for our day. So when that email comes in or that experience or that phone call or whatever it is comes in, we are grounded and centered and in peace. And it doesn't mean we're not affected, but it's a whole lot less. And remember that 20-80 rule, like 20% is what happens to us, but 80% is what we do with that 20%. Number 4, how do I want to be different by the end of the year? So we're, first of all, really talking on inwardly. How do you want to be different by the end of the year? So it could just be more peaceful, happier, fitter, healthier, feeling more fulfilled, deeper self-love. How do you want to be different by the end of the year? Number 5, how can you be kinder to yourself? So just consciously choosing now, whatever that is, you know how you can be kinder to yourself. Number 6, in what ways or way do you would like to deepen your spiritual practice, your spiritual life? Now, I believe there is no disconnect. Like all of us being here together is a spiritual experience because we are consciously choosing to be together. We are consciously choosing to raise the vibration, to seek out tools, to heal, to grow, to evolve, eating a meal, making love, having a shower, being out in nature. These are all spiritual experiences. You don't have to be on your yoga mat to be having a spiritual experience. But this question is, how can you deepen? So really what we're saying here is deepen your connection to source, deepen your connection to spirit, to your inner guidance. So maybe it's just a commitment to listen to your intuition more. And the more that you do that, the more confident you grow in your intuition, and the more you listen to that inner guidance that's always there. So what are some commitments you're making to yourself and to spirit to deepen that union? Number 7, am I willing to allow more abundance into my life? Yes, of course. Of course. And what would that look like? Stepping out in the world more in a bigger way, releasing blocks. Remember, energy just wants to flow. It just wants to flow. So we either block it or we allow it. And we know that's how it works in Feng Shui. The energy is going to flow. So it's whether we open up the flow so it can flow around our homes, or it doesn't get in there, or it gets in there and it gets stuck. So it's the same way. Everything in the universe is vibration. And the vibration that we're vibrating at is what we align with. Number 8, am I willing to take risks? So is there anything that you've been wanting to step into and fear has been there? Risks that, like, you boldly want to take a risk with something, or the risk is letting go of something. And fear thinks it is just protecting us, and it shows up. And it's just really important that we are willing to allow to listen to fear, because it does think it's protecting us. And I always like to think of fear hanging out there. It's like, hey, fear, how are you doing? Yeah, I see you. And, I'm not going to, fear, it's okay for fear to come up if you're, at the edge of a cliff or something. But just because you're thinking of putting yourself out there or telling somebody that you love them or whatever it is, that's just fear. So you can look fear in the face and say, I appreciate you being here, but I'm going to do this anyway. So are you going to willing to take risks in this new year? Or will you allow, number 9, fear to control you? So where has fear been controlling? And, that is quite a big energy out in the world right now. And as empaths and light workers, we tend to feel that. So if you have been experiencing more anxiety than normal, as empaths, there's so much happening with the planets, but with humanity, with the earth right now. So it's really even more important than ever, like we've been talking about, to be accountable for your own energy and grounded. So you do know the difference when, okay, this is my own personal energy, but this is a collective fear that I'm feeling. This is a collective control energy that's out there right now. And I can see the difference or feel the difference and know the difference and choose to stay in peace and choose to stay in sovereignty and choose to stay in light and then send those energies out. And every once in a while, that other energies will come in and we feel them, we move through them. We don't let them get stuck. We don't push them away, because that which we suppress or resist persists, right? Okay, so the next one. Number 10, will you be a force of beauty? I love that. Will you be a force of beauty? Beauty and grace, and stand in your beauty. Express your beauty. Do you ever see the peacock when it opens up its tail? It's like, oh my gosh, and it shakes. It's like, yeah, check me out. Will you allow yourself to be a force of beauty and truth and sovereignty? Number 11, what changes are unfolding in your life that you need to cooperate with? And what does that mean? So what is unfolding? What are perhaps on some level changes you've been asking for, shifts that you've been asking for that are coming to fruition now, and that you can allow, that you don't have to block, that you don't have to fear? So what are some changes that are happening? Because there is a lot of changes. And I think it's showing up for everybody in its own unique way and similar ways as well. And it's a time where things, especially when people are asked being so still and pause, things that people didn't want to feel or look at, they're being forced to right now. So how could you allow more flow? And how could you consciously choose to let things unfold and get out of the way so they unfold with more grace and more ease and flow, and then the transformation has happened? Well, as we know, it's ever evolving. So number 12, are you choosing love or fear? That's an easy one. Number 13, if you could do anything in your life and money were no object, what would you do? Would you still be doing the same things, or would it look different? It's a beautiful, powerful question to ask. 14, whose life do I want to improve, and how will I do that? So whose lives? The lives of your clients, your family, your friends? Whose lives do you want to improve, and how will you do that? Well, starting off doing your Feng Shui practice, transform people's lives. And of course, what we've been talking about, raising your own vibration and self-care. When you do that, I feel that when your well is filled, you can help people so much more than when you're coming from this place of emptiness and victim. But when you come from this full, embodied, beautiful place, you can even just inspire people by being that. 15, what is the feeling that you'd like to experience in this year? So we've been talking about that. What are the feelings? What is the feelings? What are the feelings that you'd like to experience for this year? So I'm sure you'd like more time with those questions, or maybe they just flowed and you feel complete with it. But I also think it's really powerful to keep these questions somewhere, and next year read them, or maybe in a few months come back and read them and see how things have moved on, things have shifted. A lot of times we think, oh my gosh, nothing's changed, I'm still the same. Then you go back and read some of these things, you're like, oh my gosh, so much has changed, so much has evolved. So next of all, I'd love to look at our homes. That's what we're here for as well, right? For the love of your home. So what in your heart do you feel lowers your vibration when you're in your home? The way it looks, feels, clutter, or things that needs to be fixed. So I'd love to have a look at that next. So describe the way you would like to feel in your home. Describe the way you'd like to feel. Do you want to come in the gate or enter in the front door and just feel lifted up and inspired and happy? You want to feel safe and protected? Want to feel inspired? Describe the way that you would like to feel in your home. You feel nurtured and nourished and comfortable. You feel supported. And then I'd like you to list and commit to 3 things that you're going to change about your home that will raise the vibration. So maybe it is that you wanted to finish the fireplace, or, repaint, or fix some broken things, or clear out the clutter in that closet. And, whatever it is, take a moment now. And they don't have to be huge things. Just what are 3 things, even right away, that you really feel, that you would like to change in your home to raise the vibration, that it will. Get a couple of things repaired. Let go of some things. So then we have our wonderful intentional Feng Shui, right? And we all know that there's 9 areas to the home. And each of the areas hold a certain energy, and each in the directions. Remember, all this is going to be in the PDF. But what we suggest from the intentional standpoint, the intentional Feng Shui standpoint, is that you write on these 9 areas of your life. You write affirmations, present tense, and what you would like to bring more of. So the south area of your home is all about how you share your light with the world. It's all about reputation and how you want to express your unique, beautiful self. So I invite you to, if any words come up right now, this could be something you might want to take more time with afterwards. And what I've found over the years is sometimes people leave this to the very end, or they don't do it. And some people, it just comes really natural to write these, and it just flows. And then some people, it feels like it's really hard. So all you've got to do is just think about, how do you want to share your light with the world more? And it doesn't have to be in this big neon way, flashing lights. Just how do you want to have your new unique expression of to who you are? How do you want to show up? So then what you want to do is write your affirmation, present tense, positive. And sometimes for some people it can be funny because they're not feeling that way yet, but it's more the energy you want to align with. So then you write it up and you place it somewhere in the south area of the home. It doesn't have to be seen, just you can fold it up and put it in a drawer. And of course, if you want it to be, and you could write it beautifully like a poem and frame it and put it in the south area. So the next wall is the southwest, which is our love and relationship. So this could be describing your relationship, but how you want to raise it up a little bit more. It could be how you want to be in your friendships more so, or new friendships you want to bring in. It could be about attracting a loving relationship. So again, it's about writing it in present tense as though it's already happening, and positive. So my relationships are equal, they're inspiring, they're loving, they're patient, they're kind, just all that are important, everything. And they can't be too short or too long. I've given lots of examples you'll find in one of the other PDFs. But what I really invite for these affirmations, if they're written from your heart and soul, they want to be in your voice, your language, your unique expression of them. So then the West is creativity, inner child, ancestral healing, new beginnings, the children area. So perhaps you want to open up more creatively or sensually, or, be more connected with your inner child, or do inner child healing, or things that you'd like new beginning of. So you would write it out again and then place it in the West area of your home. Northwest is helpful people, on an earthly realm, on an angelic realm. And it's also helpful people and travel. So it's more about, and there's not a load of that happening right now, but perhaps you want your business to be more global. And it's also the area of enhancing synchronicities. So the right people come in at the right time in my life, that we raise each other up and grow and evolve together. And I synchronistically align with all that I need to expand and for your intentions. And then the North is all about career, your soul's work. So not just a job, we're talking about soul's work and your life's journey. So in the North, you would write about what that looks like and how you are uniquely expressing yourself and how that feels and what is that abundant reward from that. Get really, really clear. And then again, write that and place it in the north area of your home. Then the northeast, we have wisdom, self-cultivation, and spiritual area. So what do you want to learn more about? What do you want to deepen your wisdom and your knowledge in? Your spiritual practice, how would you like to deepen that? The northeast area is really supporting of that. So again, writing an affirmation and placing it. And if you're just renting one room in a home, you can just go to the 8 directions in that one room. So the east is family, community, soul family, and ancestral healing as well. So if you would like to work on healing things in your ancestral line that keep showing up, this is a great area to work with. A wonderful area if you want to improve present family relationships, or you want to cultivate more community or your soul family. You could write, I have this wonderful community that nourishes, we all nourish each other, we're like-minded, it's inspiring and supportive, we connect and we connect regularly, and it fills me up, and just whatever that you would like for that to be, write it. The southeast is wealth, abundance, and prosperity. So the southeast area of your home is all about wealth and prosperity and abundance. So again, there is affirmations, but again, I want this to be from you. And I think you have to be really mindful when you're writing these affirmations to talk about how you feel, because sometimes we might be like, well, I would really like to earn X amount of dollars in this year or euro in this year. And the universe had something way more expansive in mind for you. And of course, we have these limiting beliefs that we're not even aware of. So it's actually beautiful to just say, I feel abundant. I'm comfortable. I have an abundance here. I've, an abundance to live the life that I love, to do as I please, fill in the blanks for what that would be. And the center is all about unity within self. It's about body, mind, and spirit well-being. So, and we all know it's a beautiful area of the home to have like fresh flowers and all of the areas you want kept clear of clutter. But this area is all about the spiritual practices and self-care of oneself. And then afterwards, this is just something for you to have in your PDFs, but it marks doing practices on the new moons and the full moons, right? So that's just something for you to have in this. So for every new moon, you can start setting your intentions and really live this year really consciously and in complete harmony with all the rhythms of nature and the earth. So that will be something for you to have and to read back on.